everyone, it's Jasmine.
It's Chris.
And Barry.
We're Sweet Simple Vegan and back with another video.
And back. So since you guys really liked our concept of, oh, Barry got his treat, so if you guys hear
some crunching,
that's where it's coming from. Anyways, back in January, we filmed a video all about vegan for beginners, and you guys seemed to like it, so we decided to do another one with that concept, but we're changing it up slightly.
So we're going to be focusing more on the way we used to eat when we first went vegan. So it's focusing a lot on quick and easy meals. We were both really busy when we first went vegan. Jasmine was in college and I was working 2 to 3 jobs at the time, so it was a lot of really convenient, quick, on-the-go meals.
Meal prep.
Yeah, so that's what we're focusing on today. So we're taking it back 6 to 7 years now, right?
Yeah, and all of these recipes still apply. We still eat these things today. Obviously, we work from home now and things have changed a bit, but we wanted to share these with you if you guys are also on the go and you need some quick and easy recipes. And like I said before, these are also great for meal prep as well. I'm really excited to get into this video because it was a really great day of eating. I loved all the food and I think you guys are gonna like it.
Let's do this. Let's get right into it. We're not gonna tell you what we make because we want you to watch the video, so.
Let's go.
Want your kisses in the morning light. Wanna be next to you every night. No, I shouldn't love you, but I might. Cause your lips, they taste like cherry wine. You're no good for me. We're so bittersweet, but I still want you. I do.
Good morning, guys. We're filming in, I feel like, an awkward spot, but I'm currently on the counter to line up with Chris here.
I'm currently on the floor. Actually kind of makes us the same size, right? You're a little taller, I guess.
But if I slouch, we're not. We just finished an intense gym workout.
Leg day today.
And so I believe I said it or we said it in the intro, but for this video we wanted to show you guys recipes that are easy, approachable, and also recipes that we used to make all the time when we were newly vegan. So I went vegan in 2012, you went vegan in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we experimented a lot. He was working at a regular job.
Always on the go.
And I was a student, so I was always on the go as well. Smoothies are just something that we can make really quickly, take on the go, and then have like while we're driving or
and they're really
while I'm
filling
in
too.
class. Yeah, exactly. So this is something that I would recommend if you are newly vegan and you don't know what to have for breakfast, or if you just don't have time. You can even prep like smoothie packs. You can like put everything you need for your smoothie, like greens, fruit, whatever, in like a Ziploc in the freezer, and then you could just blend it with some almond milk or water, whatever you want, and have that in the morning too, if you want to like pre-prep it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is how we're getting our day started. We'll show you how we do lunch, dinner. Should be good. I'm excited. I feel like we're gonna be like kind of taking it back towards how we used to eat, but it's still pretty similar to how we eat now. I guess we're just less on the go now because we work from home. So I guess that's the only real difference, but there were a few things that I ate when I first went vegan that we're gonna be doing today that I'm excited about.
All right, so it is lunchtime and I'm going to be making something very simple with you guys, something that I used to always eat when I first went vegan, and it's actually even more simple now than it was back then. So what I'm making are some falafel wraps, and I actually have this falafel mix from Trader Joe's. I would highly recommend it. This is really good for people who don't have a lot of time or who are new in the kitchen and don't really want to spend a lot of money on ingredients and mess up or not really know what you're doing. This is a mix where you just add water. You put it in a bowl, you add water, you let it sit for a little while to thicken, and then you form it into falafels, you bake it, and you're done. You don't need any crazy ingredients, and it's really straightforward. It's really good for beginners. So I would recommend you check this out. And it's also gluten-free and vegan. So if you're gluten-free, this one's for you. So I'm going to be making that today, and I'm gonna be making wraps. I don't know if I already said I'm making wraps. Did I, Chris? Did I say I was making wraps?
We did it so many times that I don't remember.
Okay. This This is like the third or fourth take, but I am making wraps today for lunch because I used to always make that when I first went vegan. And wraps are really good. They're kind of like sandwiches. You can really put whatever you want inside, and it's a really good way to use up random things in the refrigerator. If you have leftovers, you could throw it in a wrap it up, and eat it that way. So I'm gonna start by making the falafel, and like I said earlier, so I'm gonna start doing this, okay. So like I said earlier, all you have to do is put the mix in a bowl and just add water. I'm making 2 recipes here, and one recipe makes 9 falafels. I feel like that is already a lot, but I don't know really what our plans are this weekend, and I just want to make sure we have some food in the fridge just in case. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of meal prep at the same time. And this is really good for meal prep in general, because like I said, just add water, mix it, bake them, done. Super simple. I don't like that noise. The next step for this is the hardest part, but you just have to set this into the refrigerator for about 30 to 60 minutes to set and to thicken. So I'm gonna do that, but I'm also making something else, so we're gonna do that in the meantime. All right, next up for the falafel wraps, I'm going to be prepping some lentil hummus. And again, this is a really good thing for meal prep because you can make a bunch of falafel, you can make a bunch of hummus, and then make these during the week because it's so simple. You just have to add raw veggies to it, put it in a wrap, and you're good to go. So I have a head of garlic here, and I like to roast my garlic for my hummus. I just feel like it's a bit more palatable. You can put raw garlic if you want, but it's just a lot stronger. And I just like the taste of roasted garlic. It's really simple. So I have my head here. I'm going to peel some of the outer skin off of the garlic. You can actually save this outer skin for vegetable broth. I've mentioned this before, but we have a recipe if you want to learn how to make vegetable broth. I will link it down below. All right, then I'm going to just take my knife and cut the top part off of the garlic so you can see the inside of the cloves. So I have some aluminum foil here, and I like to wrap mine in parchment and then aluminum. So I'm gonna set the garlic in there. I have some olive oil. Just going to drizzle a little on the top. You don't really need to do that much. I'm just rubbing it in with my hands. And then I'm going to loosely wrap it in the parchment, like so. And then I'm going to loosely wrap it in the foil. And all you have to do is just set this into your oven. I'm just gonna put it directly on the rack, and it'll be in there for about an hour. I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out, but it's gonna result in some really good garlic. So I set the garlic into the oven. It is now roasting, and once it is done, I'll show you how to make the lentil hummus. So be right back. So the falafel has been sitting for about an hour, and it has thickened quite a bit. It went from like a smooth batter to now like a dough consistency. So I'm just gonna take an ice cream scooper. You can also just do this by hand if you don't have an ice cream scooper. I'm going to just roll these into a ball and put it onto the baking sheet like so. So from the looks of it, these are about double the size that the Trader Joe ones are, because the Trader Joe's ones would have, or their recipe would have yielded 18, but since I'm making them fairly large, I only have 8 here. All right, so this box says to pop it into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. So this might bake slightly longer just because they're larger, but we will see. It says to coat it with an oil spray, but I ran out of the spray. So I'm just gonna bake it as is. I think it'll be fine. Now moving on to the hummus. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but you can make this exact recipe with chickpeas if you would like to, but we wanted to make a chickpea-free option since people have asked us for chickpea-free recipes because people have allergies or just preferences. So I wanted to show you this ooey gooey roasted garlic. As you can see, it has turned golden brown. It's gooey, like I said, and it smells so good. But the flavor of this is gonna be very, very, very tasty in the hummus. I would recommend if you have the time to do this extra step. If not, you can always saute the garlic on a pan. Just cook it down a little bit. I feel like it's a little more palatable that way. So this recipe is very, very easy. You can use any lentil variety that you would like. We just have these brown lentils here. So I'm gonna pop that into my blender. You can do this in a food processor, but I like to use my blender because it just makes it extra smooth. You gotta have tahini if it is hummus, so I'm gonna drizzle some of that in. Then I have some lemon juice. You can use as little or as much as you would like. I have about a 1/3 cup here. I have some black pepper. Again, adjust that to your liking. And then salt, I'm gonna add a little now and then taste it and add more later. Lastly, we got this ooey gooey. This is actually really sticky. We have this ooey gooey garlic. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to squeeze it in. If you can see, it's like just coming out very nicely. Kind of looks like poops. Try to make sure you don't get the garlic skin to fall into the blender because we don't want that. All right, so I'm just going to blend this up. Actually, let me talk before it gets really loud. I'm gonna drizzle in the olive oil as it's going to kind of like emulsify it a little bit. It's not new. I'm also going to be adding in some water just to help it blend. It blends more easily in a food processor. Forgot about that, so it got kind of crazy right now. So if you're using a food processor, you can drizzle in the oil as it blends, but with the blender, it's a little bit harder, especially because this container is so large. So what I had to do was just add in the olive oil and then add a little water as well and use the tamper to just blend it until it's nice and smooth. So I'm just going to taste test this and make sure that it's salted to my liking. Oh my God, it looks so good. Do you wanna try this, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna add a little more salt, but. Would you be here with me forever, ever? Here. You just need a finger on it. Salt?
That's good.
Delicious,
A
right?
little salt.
That is so good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna add a little more salt. I'll just finish that. It's about a teaspoon or so. So I found that in order to make hummus very smooth, just use a high-speed blender. We have a hummus recipe on our blog and it is quite smooth. We used a food processor, but it's not completely smooth like this. So if you have a high-speed blender, just a tip if you want to use that instead of a food processor, but a food processor works just fine. All right, the falafels are done. They are nice and crispy. They look great. They look like cookies. They look like ginger snap cookies, but it's okay. It's gonna work. It's gonna be delicious. I just wanted to show you how creamy it is.
Looks great.
Oh, I'm so hungry. We're gonna make these wraps now. I have a sweet potato wrap here. This one is a gluten-free wrap from a company called Be Free. I'm just going to pile things on. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add some hummus to it. So I'm just spreading hummus all over the wrap. I'm gonna leave a little room on the edges. Add as little or as much as you want, but I suggest a lot because this is where a lot of the moisture is gonna come in for the recipe, if that makes sense. It's gonna be like your sauce. Okay, so I have some fillings here. You can really add whatever you'd like, whatever you have at home, whatever flavors you'd like or ingredients you wanna use. But we are adding in some spinach, cucumbers, tomatoes, some red onions for Chris. I'm gonna skip that. And then we also have some parsley and then obviously the falafel. And basically, this is actually gonna be hard to eat. It's gonna be a giant taco because of how the falafel turned out.
You're gonna have to push everything to the side.
I'm gonna cut these. All right, I'm back. So I kind of did this incorrectly, but it's okay. This is the first time I've used these wraps and they are smaller than our typical wraps, or at least the ones that we usually use. All right, so I'm rolling it up.
There you go.
And there you go. You got yourself a beautiful falafel wrap. And if you'd like, if you're gonna take this on the go, you can wrap it in parchment paper or put it into your lunchbox, whatever you got, whatever you're gonna use. I'm gonna eat it right now because I am very hungry. It's so good. Filling, full of fresh ingredients. This is a really good way to get in vegetables and greens.
All right, so I'm making my wrap right now. I'm doing it a little bit different than Jasmine's. I'm using a flour tortilla that we got at Newsies. It's a little bit larger. It's like burrito sized. Then I added some hummus, the falafel, some spinach, tomatoes, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of red onion. You can like put it on a grill too if you wanna seal it. But that's it. Good to go.
All right, so it is dinner time. It's actually the next day now. We were supposed to film yesterday, but just time caught up to us and we didn't have the time to do it. So Chris is actually out of the house. I'm here solo making this recipe for you, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a one-pot minestrone soup. This is actually Chris's mom's recipe. We reworked it slightly just to make it one pot, but everything else is hers. Shout out Julie, she makes the best vegan Italian food, and I'm excited to share more and more with you on our channel. So I'm just gonna get this started. I have a large pot here. I'm gonna set it over medium, low heat. So I'm gonna add a little bit of broth to the pot, and I'm just gonna do this oil-free just for the heck of it. But yeah, again, if you don't want to do it oil-free, you can totally use oil to cook with. Is this recording? So to start, I have some onions, some celery, and carrots. I'm going to just cook this until it becomes nice and fragrant and the onions begin to soften a bit. When cooking with vegetable broth, so my tip is to just add a little bit at a time. You don't want to boil the veggies down, you want to saute them. So I add like 2 to 3 tablespoons of vegetable broth or more depending on the size of the vegetables you're cooking. But I'm going to just add a little bit more when the pan completely dries out. That's just what I do, at least, because I feel like I said before, if you add too much, you're basically just like boiling down the veggies. So I'm gonna let this cook a little bit. All right, next I'm going to add in some garlic as well as some red pepper flakes. I'm just gonna eyeball this, but this isn't necessary, but I recommend it. It doesn't really make it spicy. It just adds like an extra layer of flavor to the dish. I mean, depending on how much you put. If you're gonna put a whole freaking teaspoon, it's gonna be spicy. But I just put like a couple pinches, like maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon, not that much at all. I don't know if I said this before, but this recipe is totally customizable. So if you don't wanna add certain vegetables or certain beans that I'm going to be adding in after this, you don't have to. I really recommend that when you are cooking food for yourself, have fun with it, experiment, add ingredients that you yourself will enjoy, because everybody has different palates and taste preferences. So a recipe that I love, maybe you won't love it. And that's just the beauty of cooking, especially in vegan cooking. Because I feel like, especially if you're new vegan, there's a lot of different flavors and textures you may be new to or not used to. So it's really good to incorporate ingredients and flavors that you're familiar with and that you enjoy, so that you'll enjoy your food more. It does, honestly, when I first went vegan, I honestly didn't eat that many vegetables before. I ate a lot of junk food, I ate a lot of fast food, and I felt like once I went vegan, I ate so many more vegetables than I had in my entire life. And it took me a while to get used to it. And I just had to get off of the high sodium, the high sugar, the high fat of all the fast food and processed foods that I was eating. And once I did, and once I got used to the vegan cooking, I really got to appreciate the flavors, the textures, the vegetables a lot more, if that made sense. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that, because if you're newly vegan, it's really hard to modify your diet, I totally understand. But if you stick with things that are familiar, it'll make it easier for yourself to transition. I'm going to be adding in red bell pepper. You can use any color bell pepper you want. We have red here. And then I have some green beans and zucchini. All right, and next I'm going to add in some vegetable broth. I'm also going to be adding in some beans, so I have some red kidney beans and then chickpeas and cannellini beans. I'm also gonna add in a can of some tomatoes. All right, I'm just gonna mix this until it is nice and uniform. Bring this to a boil, and then we're going to add in our pasta. All right, this is boiling. I'm going to add in my pasta. I'm going to just mix that through. And just basically cook it until your pasta is al dente. It's going to vary depending on the pasta that you use. But our pasta, this is 12 minutes. Alexa, Alexa is off right now. So that is basically it. I'm gonna wait till the pasta cooks, and then later I'm gonna add some greens, which doesn't take much effort. You just add it and mix it through. And that is it. This is a really good recipe, like I said earlier, to get in a lot of vegetables, greens, beans, and it's super easy to make. It's affordable, and it's delicious, most importantly. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Kale time. So I added salt and pepper to taste, and now I'm just going to add some kale. So I'm just going to mix the kale through, and you are done with your minestrone. Chris is home.
Band practice was good. New music coming soon.
We'll let you guys know.
It's actually getting really close now. I'm excited.
I topped it with vegan Parmesan and parsley. I filmed a little clip, so I'll let you guys see that. And I added a little more salt.
This is perfect for winter. These horchata pastas remind me of ears.
They do look like ears. Like I said earlier, perfect meal prep, perfect way to get in a ton of veggies, super nutritious, delicious, sweet, simple, and vegan, everybody.
Wow.
So thank you guys so much for following along with this video. I hope these recipes can inspire you to try new things in the kitchen. If you're a new vegan, I hope these gave you some ideas on how to meal prep, how to get more veggies in, and just
enjoy quick, easy vegan meals.
Yeah. If you have a friend that's newly vegan, interested in veganism, or is just looking for new recipes, send them the link to this YouTube video. You can click that share button, get the direct link there to get the word out. We really appreciate you guys supporting us on this channel and being here with us for the last like 4 or 5 years now.
It's crazy it's been that long.
How long we've been doing this, but
I'd say 4, right?
It's really fun. It makes me happy that we can share our passion with you. There's Barry. And we're almost at 100,000 subscribers, which is crazy. So yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much
we couldn't do this without you guys.
The support.
So, thank you.
If you haven't already subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button down below. Hit that bell for post notifications.
We post videos every Wednesday and Friday. Share a whole bunch of different content from lifestyle videos to vlogs to recipe videos.
Everything in between.
All that fun stuff. So yeah, as Jasmine said, we really appreciate you guys and thanks for watching today.
So we'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.
Bye.